Welcome to my channel, Better Monday Fasting. In today's video, I'll be talking about the fasting pattern I'm on. And actually, I should say fasting patterns because I'm stacking two fasting patterns. One is the Ramadan fasting, and the other one is the 5-step fasting pattern. And talk about why am I doing it right now, this moment, at this time of the year. And also like how long I've been doing like the Ramadan fasting and how it entered my life, how like my journey of fasting, how it kind of got me maybe closer to my religion. So I'll be talking about all that stuff. Before getting started, nothing I share in this video or on the channel is medical advice. So always do your own research before making any health-related decisions. So today is the third day of Ramadan. And this year I decided to, on top of the dry fasting during sunlight, I decided to do the Stairs pattern, 5 steps, which consist of 1 day fasting, 1 day we eat, 2 day fasting, 2 day we eat, 3 day, 3 day, 4, 4, 5, 5. And once we complete all that, it equals to a month, of which will be like, I'll be skipping 15 OMAD. So right now I'm at, I already did one fast, the first day I fast, yesterday I broke my fast, and now I'm on the 2-day fasting. And because it's Ramadan, I'm dry fasting right now. I mean, why mix the two? You know, like that can sound a little strange. The thing is, my fasting habit, like throughout the year, my baseline is 18:6, which for many years I used to do like dry, but lately I do consume some coffee and water and electrolyte drinks. So my routine is pretty much very close to Ramadan fasting throughout the year. So since during Ramadan I wanted to feel a little special, and I want to feel like an extra challenge, I decided to do the 5-step fasting pattern during Ramadan. I've done it in the past, but then I learned that because I used to do it all dry, so the days I'll be fasting, I wouldn't even break my fast, I will just keep going. So then I learned that religiously I had to break my fast. So what I'm doing now is like I break my fast only with water and low-calorie drinks during the days I'm not eating. So every day I'm actually breaking my fast at the iftar. On certain days I'll be eating, and on certain days I won't. So that's the first reason why am I doing it right now. And also like when we do the 5 steps, it equals to a month. So it fits in very well with the Ramadan, you know. So that's one of the reasons. And the other reason why I'm doing the 5-step fasting right now is just that in 2025 overall I haven't been fasting as much as in 2024. So I decided in 2026 to to take back, like do more challenging fasting patterns and more days, because once you have the 18-6 down, I mean, we somehow got into the thinking of okay, yeah, I'm fasting every day, I'm all good, like, and I think it's good to have that intermittent fasting, but I think I need more than that. I feel like I'm losing a little bit of my edge lately. So, and last year I did, even though I didn't have like many days of fasting, I did do a 3 months of carnivore diet, which was amazing. It was really good. So, and it was also during Ramadan. So like now I'm like, you know what? It's almost gonna be a year. So why not take advantage of the Ramadan and that the fact that a year has passed by since I've done something really challenging, to focus on that, to hopefully dial in, enough fasting days, a challenging pattern, and so then I'll get like the benefits once Ramadan will be over. So that's kind of the idea. And also, since I started, I mean, most of my fasting, like I've done it. It's been 10 years I've been fasting, so I've done it more like in the early days, like 2017, 18, 19, 20. When there was the lockdown, I did a lot. I actually did one 5-step fasting there, and also I also did the 7-step. So the last one is like for a week you don't eat. It's amazing. You don't eat for a week. It's like going on vacation. Yeah, it was really like when you come back to eating, it's just like you went on a trip, and how you perceive the week, you don't, because you don't eat, and I did it dry, so it's like it really feels like it really doesn't feel like 7 days, because you don't, I mean, you break it with sleep, but not with food, the days. So it's very interesting. So yeah, and back then I didn't have a blog, but I didn't have a YouTube channel dedicated to fasting. So now that I'm really like preaching about fasting, and I also build a business around it, I think it will be good also that people like day to day, they see those me going through those challenging fasting sessions, and being able to follow that. It's not just like, oh yeah, I did it years ago, and have more capture it more like as it's happening. So for those reasons, I've decided to go with that fast, and so it's a pretty advanced fasting pattern, the 5-step. So if you're new to fasting, I mean, it could be something that could motivate you maybe in the future, but I wouldn't recommend to do such fast, like your first fast. Like I would not recommend that. It's always before doing like patterns. I would say, at least like the biggest portion of your pattern, have it down under your belt. So in this case, it will be the 5-day fasting. So if you've never done a 5-day fast, to do like the stairs like that, like it's going to be very complicated. It's not impossible. But if I share my experience, I mean, I've done this pattern like I think over a year later, like after started to fast. Even though I've done some equally challenging ones prior, but I mean it's a pretty challenging pattern. And what is interesting, so it's not just like just for fun we're doing stairs, like there's the logic, there's an idea behind it. And the idea being it's the principle of hormesis. We give the equal time of resting after we put stress on the body. So that's why it goes like one, we fast for 1 day and then we eat for 1 day. Then next iteration we elevate the challenge, the difficulty level. So we put two days on the body and we fast for 2 days. So it's the double. We're doubling the fasting hours. But then we also give an extra day for resting. And then 3. Then we give 3. So more you work hard, more you rest hard, kind of like so that's the idea. And hopefully at each iteration our metabolism it's gonna get stronger. So it's kind of you can apply to workouts, you can apply it's from my experience and from my readings, that's a little bit how the human body works, like it's like you challenge, it's like a series of stress and release, and we challenge the body, and then we rest, and that's actually when usually we're making progress. The same way as working out at the gym, you go to the gym, you're gonna rip out some muscle tissue, then you're gonna eat, you're gonna send the protein, and then you're gonna sleep, and eventually it's during that sleep that you're gonna be building new muscle cells, and and being being stronger and all that. So it's the same with fasting. It's a little bit more abstract because we don't see really. We don't really see. It's not like the muscles, but if you do it, pardon me, often enough, then you are becoming more resilient, stronger. Your functions, everything functions better. So even though it's not perhaps visible, then you make progress. You make progress, and you're building like the better version of yourself, with those stress and release. And fasting patterns, so I wrote this book called For a Better Monday in 2024, and there are several chapters on the fasting patterns. And fasting patterns are very important, so we can challenge the body from different angles, so the body doesn't get bored, so to speak, or doesn't plateau. So fasting patterns are great for that, because if we put in perspective, for example, like the 8-6 fasting pattern, for me it's like I don't even feel it, like it's my baseline. But for somebody who has never done a fast, it's going to be challenging, So that means that as we make progress, things become less challenging. And if we still want to push the envelope, and maybe also it depends on our focus while we're fasting, but if we want to accomplish maybe bigger things with fasting, we need to constantly challenge the body. I shouldn't say constantly, but on a regular basis, challenge the body in like different angles. So it does get challenged, and it betters itself. So like this pattern, like the stairs pattern, is just one pattern. Like I said, I really like it because there's this hormesis principle, and also there is, at each iteration you put one more weight, and also like it fits with Ramadan. So that's why I really like that one. But there are many others you can do. There's one pattern that is really, really challenging, and it sounds like it'll be an easy one, but it is more challenging than it looks like. It's the 1-1. So maybe you fast for 36 to 40, 42 hours, then you eat a nomad, and then you fast again. Same amount, then you eat a nomad, and like that. And that one is challenging because the most difficult part of like fasting, usually it's going into fasting, because you have to adapt. You're changing, your reality is changing, so the body has to adapt. And also coming out of fasting, because now you start feeding your body from the outside again, and it's a whole different ball game for your body. So when you do the 1-1, you're always either going into fasting or coming out, going in, coming out. So it's very challenging. At least for me it's more challenging. I think the max I've done it it was 5 or 6 days. And if you ask me, it will be easier, for example, for me to just fast for 5 days straight than do that, for example. It's so when I say 5 days, it's actually 10 days, because you're always, there's one day, it's like 5 days of fasting. But so those patterns, they're very useful, and also it's it gives motivation. It makes you think about it, and it just it helps us see our body and our metabolism function from different angles. How we do, you start the first step of the stairs pattern is just one day. You go to bed only once without eating, but then you will be doing like twice. You'll do 2 days in a row, and then it's really interesting to see how you feel on that first day of the second fast, because chances are it's going to be different. And then you'll have 2 nights of sleep without eating, then the third one, and it's very it's a great teaching experience, like learning experience. On fasting, because I always say, fasting is a journey, and no 2 fasts are going to be the same, if you fast regularly enough. So this one is really compact, it's 5 fasts in a month. And so since things are happening fast, you can compare more easily. For example, on the first day, on the first day, the second day when I woke up, the first fast of 42 hours, I was kind of feeling I think the body was getting used to the dry fasting, because that was the only thing that was changing with my routine. And also I didn't do skipping a nomad for 28 days, so probably detoxing what I've accumulated during those 28 days. But now we'll see, tomorrow it's gonna be I'm going to be at the same point as the first fast, but it will be the second one. And I can already tell that it's going to be different than. Well, there are other factors too. I mean, it can also be that you feel worse, you know. But usually, it's like you got a hang of it, and you really feel like you're making progress. And what you were feeling on the first day is not the same as the first day of the second or the third or the fourth fast. The same with the second day, the third day, and then you know, when you're doing those like continuous fasting days, like prolonged fasting, it's amazing. Like usually after the third and the fourth day, that's where the magic starts usually. I mean, mentally we reach another level, and also like the body sees that it has the opportunity to heal itself, especially at night. So a lot of things are happening, you know. Sometimes like your organs, you'll hear noise coming from your organs, and yeah, like healing crisis might occur. You might feel little tired, during the day. You might have those moments where you might, you know, need to sit or lay down for a while. So all those things are normal with fasting. But like, yeah, I always give this image of you know, see fasting as repair, you know. And for example, like a freeway, in order to repair it, you know, you have to close it down. So my analogy is that, you know, replace the cars with food, and the freeway is your, you know, your body, your organs. So longer you can get, you know, from the municipality or the city, longer you can get like the freeway closure, more deep you can go in maintenance or repair, you know. So it really works the same way. So if you do intermittent fasting, it's going to do a little tune-up. If you skip one OMAD, your body is going to take advantage of that night that it doesn't have to digest to do, you know, maybe even like further in tune-ups, you know. But then once you start, you know, you give your body 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, sending food in, that's a huge opportunity for your body to start like, you know, bigger repair projects. And the body is super intelligent. Like the body is super intelligent, and it knows, like he understands that, okay, food is not coming, but I mean, there's no emergency. Like it's not like you're sick or you're injured, or, you know, so you're pretty chill. So the body knows, okay, food is not coming, so I can do my, you know, like the body has its to-do list of things he has to take care of it. And now it's like a great opportunity to do those things which are going to build the better you know. So yeah, it's really interesting. So the body has its priority list, and it might not be your priority list. You know, maybe maybe you're suffering from back pain, and that's your priority because it's hurting. But maybe for the body to repair that back pain, it has to repair other things that are related, you know. So that's why it's very important, I think, to trust the body. I'm from the school that thinks that the body is intelligent, you know, and I'd rather be. It's actually like it's in my book. Yeah, I turned myself instead of being like the CEO of my body, I'm the angel capitalist, you know. So I give fasting days to my body, and my body knows what to do. So the body is the CEO. And it's yeah, it's super intelligent. It knows what it's doing. So that's why, like, I'm the total opposite of. There's this school of, especially in the U.S., like in the U.S. people love stats and measuring things, and that's why you hear like people they start fasting and they're obsessed with the scale, and they will measure their their blood and their blood pressure, and also their sugar levels and all that, and it's good. I mean, those are metrics, but who cares? That's my conclusion. I mean, it's just that your body knows what to do, and if you create a good communication with your body and you get good at understanding what it needs, then also your body will communicate you what you need. So that could be in the form of, like, maybe one day you're going to be wanting to eat like oysters, or liver, or have a bone broth, things like that. Because your body, you know how to listen to your body, and your body usually communicates you what is it is missing. So I'm more of that school. Like, I'm not saying, like, I'm not against science or all that, but it's just like it's my journey so far with fasting has been a series of, I mean, there are a lot of counterintuitive things I've learned about the human body. Like, for example, like the first one that comes to my mind is like, I think dry fasting is easier than water fasting, but it doesn't make sense. Like, it will be hard to explain that to people, but that's how it is. You can have you can start fasting and have sugar spikes. If you're measuring your blood, and then you're like, how is it possible? But it is. And when you think more about it, it's like, maybe maybe your cells were full of sugar, maybe your liver was full of extra sugar, and now it's like, now that you're not putting any extra in, it's time to, it's opportunity to flush it out. So there are many things like that are kind of counterintuitive. That's why I'm not like a big fan of measuring everything and thinking that it's happening right now. It's like, I started fasting yesterday and now I have the result. Like, yeah, certain things you will definitely, certain things will be have some correlations that are like immediate, but there are so many things that are, it's like in the realm, in the long run, that you got to leave the body alone, and it does its thing. And some of the results, like especially like those longer fasts, you won't feel them right away. You like say that now I'm gonna do my like this 5-step fasting pattern. So it's gonna equal to 15 days of fasting, and I will notice some difference at the end, and I'm sure I'll feel good about myself and feel some improvements. But the magic happens down the road, because say that during that fast my body was able to fix my liver and my kidneys, do some deep work on those organs. So now when I'm done with this fasting session, I have a better functioning liver and a better functioning kidneys. So that means maybe my blood is going to be filtered better, and so it tends to have like this domino effect of good things happening. So don't be surprised, like if you do like a prolonged fast, that weeks, even months down the road, like you feel like a major improvement. So that's why, like, I trust my body, and I trust my, and also I have faith, and that's where maybe I can bridge the whole, fasting for health and fasting for religion, and how, like, even though I was born Muslim, like, this is only my 10th Ramadan in my life, and I started, the Ramadan fasting because I started fasting. So I kind of did usually Muslims, they fast because they're Muslims, they have faith. For me, it was more like, I was a cultural Muslim, I was born Muslim, but I wasn't practicing at all. And then what happened is, like, once I start fasting, so I'm doing the fasting, then I quit alcohol, then I'm doing all this like yoga-like exercises that could be argued that it's the Muslim way of praying. Maybe share some, I don't want to say anything that can offend somebody, but there is something, I mean, you're doing some sort of a meditation. I mean, if you take the religion aspect out of it, you're doing some meditation and some stretching, and so then I was just like, I had this like eureka moment, I was just like, wait a minute, you quit alcohol, you're touching the ground with your forehead, and you're fasting. I mean, those things are in my religion, So then I was just like, I started to look from that angle, It's like, it's a system that it's made, it's working, and it's designed for the, the human body. So it understands how it works. So then, I start fasting pretty early. I mean, at the same year as I started fasting for Ramadan. But it was in, if I'm not mistaken, 2022 or 2023. 2023. I started doing my prayers, and then once again I noticed, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I'm not always, I wish I could do my 5 prayers always on time and all the time. Like, I'm not at that level. I mean, there's no excuse, but that's how it is. But sometimes I have moments where I dial it in, and especially when I'm, in places where it's like closer to nature, it's easier for me. And it's just amazing. Like, it's just amazing how it connects me with the solar system, and it gives you a schedule, and it makes you wake up early, and it turns really like your life into being more productive. And it's just amazing how when you feel like you're losing steam, you realize that it's time to do your prayer. So you do the abdest, you wash yourself, then you do your prayer, and bam, you're good to go again. So yeah, it's really well done, how it works. I mean, it's just it's a system that understands how the human body works with its surroundings. And the reason why I'm touching on religion is, like, the one aspect of fasting is having faith is very, very important. And I'm not only talking about religious faith, but at least having faith in the miracle of fasting, That's a key. It's not a detail, like, it's really key, because if say that instead of having faith, you question everything, and you're measuring everything, and you're in the mindset of, oh my God, is this good for me? am I going to die after 3 days if I don't eat, if I don't drink water? My blood sugar went up, it went down, my blood pressure went up. It doesn't help the process at all. On the contrary, whereas if you have faith, at least in the process, you're like, I don't know what is happening inside me. It doesn't always feel pleasurable. There are challenging moments, but I have faith. I believe in it, and that makes a huge difference. You gotta let it go. You'll get better results, because we don't want to get into the enemy of fasting is fear, and we don't want to get into that loop, of being anxious, being, anticipating, being worried. Like, all those things they don't help. On the contrary, you can make things worse. So there's definitely my experience was that through fasting I got closer to my faith, and I also understand that to get better results and be a better fasting person, you need that they call it leap of faith. Yeah, like you need that to believe in, like, even though you haven't seen anything, you just give credit of faith. Like you're like, okay, I know it's gonna work out. I know it's good for me, and that makes a huge difference, and it's very, very important. It's super important. It's maybe the key, because there are people who are afraid of fasting and everything, and actually, like, everything can be overcome. And pretty much everything can be overcome, allow you to fast. But this, like, if you're too fearful or you're stressing out about it, maybe working on that prior to start fasting is better, because we don't want to trip out, like, in a bad way. There are moments, especially on the prolonged fast, that you will elevate your soul, and you will, in a way, trip out in a clean way. It's very interesting. It's been 10 years I've quit drinking alcohol, and with fasting there's something similar, but at the same time it's the opposite. It's like that you get closer to your true self. Sometimes, like, when you're drunk, you tend to say what you think, or maybe you see your boss, you're drunk, you're like, hey, asshole, and because that's what you think really inside of you. So in that sense, fasting and we're going to say substances are similar in the sense that you get closer to your true self. But with alcohol, at least my experience with it is like you're more delusional. Like, you're more like, sometimes it happens to musicians, like you're drunk on stage and you think you're you're having a great performance, but the great performance is only in your head. You're not. You're actually making a fool of yourself. That's with alcohol. Whereas with fasting, you get closer to your true self, but it's more real than real. Like, you're even less drunk than when you're sober. Let me open that up. So it's just that when you're eating and everything, you're with your routine. You're telling yourself things. Everything will be all right. Everything will be, you have your ideas. You have your beliefs. Well, with fasting, you face reality more. So less of your own BS, in a way. So it gets you closer to your true self, and also from the lens of reality. So that's why it's a great tool to make decisions, like major decisions for your life. It's, if you're fasting, it's going to be more, you're going to have better understanding of reality. Whereas, if you're a little buzzed, or even like you have some coffee, or, there are certain things, like, say you're in a good mood, you have confidence, like, well, it might help you to make maybe an investment because you have the confidence, but maybe your confidence is, I don't want to say it's fake, but maybe it comes from something that is not that connected to reality, So with fasting, it's more like a clean slate, it's more, you see things how they are more, and that's great for making decisions. So yeah, that's was a great experience of mine. Like that the fact that I experienced like alcohol and fasting, and how they have something in common, but they're at the same time they're opposed. Like they're common in the sense that you get closer to reality and your true self, and but one is more through like a distorted lens, and the other one is like an eagle eye sharp lens. So that's really interesting. That's one of my major findings in fasting, and how you can use it. I mean, that's why it's a beautiful tool. Like it's a holistic tool, and it's not just about getting rid of diabetes and things like that, or eczema. It will do that too, and that's really important. But it just makes you, if you make better decisions, it's key. Decision making is like, if you make better decisions, you're going to be happier. And when I say better decisions, it's not like the decisions that are going to make you more millions, it's like, it's more decisions that are tuned with your true self, because that's the challenge at the end of the day. It's like, because if you know yourself, if you get close to your true self and you make the decisions accordingly, then your chances of pardon me, of having a happier and a better life are higher. And also, maybe what you're looking for in life, it's maybe it doesn't cost much, maybe, So instead of thinking, oh, I need to do this and this and this and this and this, and then I can do what I want, like if you know what you want, maybe it's easier to get access to it, And but yeah, in my experience, it was like fasting helped me a lot with that. It really helped me a lot with that, and yeah, like the life I'm having today, it's the result of that. It's a byproduct of that, and and that's also why right now I want to get back to fasting more, because I need that edge. I feel like I don't want to say I'm losing it, but it's like it's not as sharp as before, I feel like. So it's time for fasting, and that's another and now I'm discovering this beautiful garden here. That's also like like earlier I talked about your body communicating to you. That's also like one of the major communication. It's like when to fast, how long to fast. Like after a while, when you build that connection with your body, it's like it tells you, if you should go for a long fast, for a shorter fast. If it's on the contrary, if it's a moment where you should not be fasting and building and working and moving forward, so all that is established through fasting. You establish that communication with the body, and yeah, lately I've been getting that signal that yeah, you know, you're 18-6 and skipping the OMAD once in a while, it's good. But, you know, in 2024, you had your most productive year. In 2025, you got a lot done. You got the results from your investments in 2024, but you did less of fasting. You took less care of the machine, and maybe now the machine is not performing, you know, at its best. So, yeah, now it will be a good time for me to do this 5-step fasting pattern with the Ramadan. Yeah, it makes it more challenging because, you know, like, because you wake up in the morning. For example, like on Monday, I'm gonna wake up and I'll be already fasting for 2 days. So skip 2 OMADs. But after waking up, like now I have the entire day before I can break my fast, you know. So it gives that extra challenge. And also dry fasting is very, very powerful. So if you're used to fasting and you already do, you know, some prolonged fasts, you have some fasting patterns under your belt, another step could be that try to do some of your fasting dry. And that's an extra step, and it has a lot of benefits. I always avoid to say, you know, water fasting is worse or better than this fasting. I mean, they're all tools, but with dry fasting you can go deeper. So if your focus is like especially it could be to challenge yourself more, so dry fasting is great. Pardon me. That could be the dry fasting, maybe because I went to the sauna and getting close to the iftar, maybe I'm a little bit of gonna have like the throat is a little dry, but I don't know if it's related with fasting. So it could be extra challenge, but also it could be to go deeper, you know. So if your focus is to cure something chronic, you'll make faster progress with dry fasting. And the reason for that is that you corner the body even more, you know. It's like now you're not giving it food and you're not giving it water either. So the body has to find solutions. The body has to find solutions, and the body will find solutions. Like for its primary like functions, it will find the water it needs. It will get it in, you know, the water from, you know, dirty water from the dirty fluids from the cells. It will break fat into water. I mean, it will get there. So don't worry too much about it. Yeah, and that will, because you're cornering the body even more, it finds more solutions. So it reacts and it does all those things that are also that favors curing, you know, and repair, and you get more resilient, and also you're getting another benefit you're getting from dry fasting is you give a break to your kidneys, you know. That's also very counterintuitive, like, you know, like we might think, you know, like more you drink water, more you're cleaning everything, but it doesn't work like that. It's just that more you're going to drink water, you're not hydrating more, you're just tiring your kidneys more. So when you stop drinking, it gives a rest to the kidneys and it kind of dries them. And an analogy that I really like to use is like, you know, when you have like a water shortage and then water comes back again, and then you see mud, you know, coming out of the faucet. Well, that's detox. That's exactly the same principle. Because those pipes, because you allow them to rest and dry maybe, now you can clean them. But if the water is constantly coming, you never clean that layer of dirt, Even the water is gonna look clean, but the pipes are not. So I don't know if exactly it works like that with the kidneys, but there's something very similar. And also you can break your fast after a dry fast, you break your fast with some parsley lemon juice. That's great because that's very astringent, and you drink that first before water and all that, and you let that be absorbed and go touch the kidneys, and then it's gonna dissolve all the buildups, So yeah, at the end of the day, it's a machine. I mean, it's a biochemical machine, organic, but it's a machine. So we have to kind of learn how it works, and fasting is like it's a built-in system within the machine to, your laundry machine has that function, wash itself, also the washing machine for the dishwasher too. So like once in a while you have to wash the machine itself. So I see the fasting a little bit like that. I mean, it's way more than that, but it's also like it's a function within the body to repair, to reset. And when you see like injured or sick animals fasting, it's in there. So it's prior to. That's also sometimes when people challenge, like they resist to fasting because they associate it too much with religion. Then I don't want to go into those debates, but I mean, my religion, Islam, has been around for 1,400 years, but fasting has been, around for before that, like the fasting was. So then you can, from the religious perspective, you're saying, okay, so that's just the message of how things were, like, I mean, I personally believe that everything comes from God, but even if you don't, like, if you have that like more different mentality, and so you can say that, fasting is older than organized religions, So it's a way of looking at it. So yeah. So that was about the fasting pattern I'm doing right now, the month of Ramadan. Have faith and fasting. It's like they're at one point they bridge, and I think they're not. I mean, it's either religion understood how fasting works, or fasting allows us to elevate ourselves. Either way, it's like although they're different things in our reality, if you practice, they merge. Like that's my feeling. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to. I mean, this is not religious advice either. So like maybe me stacking fasting patterns is not something welcomed by religion. It could be. Like as before, I used to do dry fasting, and I learned that I was religiously wasn't compatible, so I started to break my fast. So maybe like usually religion doesn't like creativity too much. Like that's a fact. And the beauty of religion is that you don't have to think too much about it. You just trust the process, and so I have respect for religion, and I also have respect for thinking on your own, and trying to investigate, try to experiment, and try to learn life that way. And like I said, with my experience, at one point they merge. If you go far enough with the process, both processes, like then they merge, and I think that's the truth. That's where the truth is, I guess. So thank you for watching. So no medical advice, no religious advice, no investment advice. Always do your own research before making any health-related or faith-related decisions.